I don't know.
All right.
Okay, you're right.
All right, here we go. All right, where are we up to here?
Perek Beis. We finished the whole Perek.
Okay.
The beginning.
In the beginning.
No, we're not in the beginning.
Of Perek Beis.
Yes, we're up to Perek Beis.
That's what I meant by the beginning. The beginning of the Perek.
I'm aware. I was talking to Jody, who decided she wanted to start from Bereshis. All right, here we go. Perek Beis, chapter 2. Amnam. All right, I got kind of half of a muffled l'chaim out of that one. There's a pot of coffee, fresh. It is not decaf, but there are decaf K-cups, so feel free to make yourself.
I know, I will.
Lahavin, you're gonna wait till it's time to wake up.
No, I have to wait till after 10.
Okay. Lahavin inyan amrai b'tzelem elikim. To understand this idea that we started with of the tzelem elikim, the image of Hashem, Davka. Specifically, this term, v'loi shem acher, not using a different name of Hashem. Now, obviously, we know Hashem has many names, each representing something else, a different aspect of Hashem's existence. And the term that is used, or the name, I should say, that is used for describing this image of Hashem is the name Elokim. And Nefesh Hachaim here is going to discuss why, of all the names, that's the one that is chosen. Now, I will just note that there are those who mention here that it's not, the question is not if we should include the name of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, because that name is certainly not something that could be said about it, that man is created in that image. That is beyond any kind of physical or human capacity in any sense. But of the other names, there are different options, and Elikim is chosen. So why is this? So Reb Chaim explains, Kishem Elikim Yadua Pirusha, because the name Elikim, its understanding is known to be Shehu Mayra Shehu Yizbarach Shemay Baal HaKoches Kul. It means, or refers to the fact that Hashem is the source of all powers. As the Shulchan Aruch writes, so the Shulchan Aruch, he's talking about the intentions that we should have when we're saying the words of davening. He has, in Siman Hey, he talks about what we should think when we say Hashem's name. So when we say Elokim, he says we should have in mind that means Hashem, who is the source of all power. Okay? All powerful, as some like to say it. Now, I don't personally think all powerful is a good translation, because all powerful doesn't connote that every other power comes from him. All powerful, at least on the surface, seems to imply that Hashem can do whatever he wants. But that doesn't necessarily imply the message here, which is that all powers that exist are all products of Hashem. And that's the important point over here. Yes, Gula.
Rabbi, at Neve, we've been translating Elohim as root of all powers.
The root of all powers?
Yeah,
okay.
It was, that's the closest we can get. I don't know. It's not perfect, but it's the closest we've gotten.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
The source, so that's the same,
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah. Okay. So, V'inyan ma shehu yizbarach nikra bal hakoches. This idea that Hashem is called the source of powers, ki lo kimidas basar v'dam, because Hashem doesn't work the way people work. Meaning, midas HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm sorry, lo kimidas basar v'dam midas HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The ways of people are not the ways of Hashem. Meaning, ki adam, when you're dealing with a person, kishabayna binyan derech mashal me'etz, if a person were to build, for example, something made out of wood, the builder is not creating and making the wood exist. Rak shalakech eitzim shekvar nivru. He's taking wood that already was created and already exists, u'mesadron b'binyan, and he's arranging them to build. V'achar shekvar sidron lefir tzanei, and additionally, after you've already built it into whatever you're making it, even though you've removed your power over this piece of wood, meaning you've left it be, nevertheless, the piece of wood or table, whatever it is now, remains. Okay? So the relationship between the table and the builder is very limited. Meaning, the builder did not create the table, per se. He may have taken existing, or he did take existing pieces of material and formed them together and attached them and cut them and did whatever he needed to do to make a functional table. But as soon as he removes his hand from the table remains. Nothing changes from the table. So the influence that the builder had on the table was limited. Aval, however, hu yizbarach shemai, when it comes to Hashem, k'may be'ez brias olam etzkulam, just like at the time that Hashem created all of the different worlds, v'ra'am v'himtziam hu yizbarach yesh me'ayin, Hashem formed them, created them, made them exist from nothingness, from absolutely nothing, which is something that human beings are incapable of. We cannot create something from nothing. B'koichei ha'bilti tachlis, and Hashem's power is limitless, and that's what he used to create from nothing. Kain me'az, and so too, from then on, kol yoim v'chol rega mamish, every day and every moment, kol koyach mitziusam v'sidram v'kiyumam, all of the power of their existence and their stability, that they are still around, toli rak b'mashu yizbarach shemay mashpia b'hem, is entirely dependent on Hashem is constantly giving them this existence. V'ritzona yizbarach, through Hashem's will, kol rega, every moment. Koyach v'shifas ar chadash, the power and a shefa of light anew. And if Hashem were to remove the power of this shefa, even for a moment, in that moment, they would all revert to nothingness. So, the difference between mankind creating something and Hashem creating something is that man is taking something that essentially exists already. He may change its form, he may improve on it, he may ruin it, whatever it is. He's taking something that already exists and inherently, so to speak, exists, and simply shifting it, moving it, changing it, but it is, in essence, the same thing. And his involvement with it is limited to whatever he did, that's it, that's the way it's going to stay. But when Hashem creates, it's not that Hashem creates something and now it exists. It's not the way it works. When Hashem creates something, it exists for the moment that Hashem creates it, and not more. Now this is necessary, meaning it has to be this way. There cannot be an existence in which Hashem removes himself from creating that and it still exists. That's impossible. So Hashem creates the wood and then Hashem continues to create the wood forever, because that wood cannot exist on the power of the initial creation. The initial creation is just that. It's a creation for a moment. As long as Hashem is sending the shefa of existence to this, it will exist. As soon as Hashem stops sending the shefa of existence, it will stop existing. And this is very similar to a concept that we have a very easy time understanding today, and that is electricity. In order for something to have power, it needs to have a constant flow of electricity. The moment that flow ceases, the power ends. It will no longer work. So if you have a flashlight and you push the button, it's going to turn on because you've created a connection between the power source and the bulb. The moment you push that button again, and now you've severed the connection, in an instant, the light's gone. Why? Because it needs a constant flow of energy in order to exist. That light cannot exist without the power powering it. So the same is for all of existence. In order for anything to exist, Hashem has to be constantly infusing it with the ability to exist. Hashem literally has to infuse existence into everything in order for it to exist. The moment someone, well, I shouldn't say someone, but theoretically it would be possible for a person to simply disappear. If Hashem stops sending existence to that person will simply disappear. And the same would be true of anything. I'm not talking about death. I'm talking about existing or not existing. And anything, a person, a place, a thing, anything, can simply cease to exist if Hashem stops powering it. It'll just be gone. And the same way we can kind of understand that if something were to disappear entirely, it's just gone, that in order for that to come back, there would have to be a creation, because it's gone. There's nothing here now. It's not like you're regrowing something from the roots. There's absolutely nothing here. So in order for it to come back, it wouldn't really be coming back. It would be recreated. So that's how everything is actually constantly existing, because everything is constantly being recreated. Yes?
Is the energy that Hashem, so I have two questions. One is about the energy. He uses the word light here, and I'm wondering if he's talking about physical light, like.
Is he talking about physical light? No, he's not talking about physical light.
So
No.
this is not like waves and particles.
No.
This is spiritual light.
Yes.
So is the energy, the spiritual energy that Hashem uses to create or recreate something any different than the maintenance energy?
No. No, it's all the same. It's the exact same power that Hashem infuses, as he himself wrote. The same power that Hashem infused at the moment of creation, he continues to infuse for the duration of something's existence. Because otherwise, it's like the light bulb. You pull the plug, it's going to stop existing. That light will not continue to function.
But there's no additional, like people plan, design, think. And we know that there's something about the idea of thoughts of Hashem. We hear that metaphor. Hashem thought and it existed. Is there anything reflected like that in this kind of world where that Hashem would have to, it's a different kind of creation, the first creation, than it is the maintenance creation? No. Okay.
So is it that our socks just cease to exist? Is that why?
I'm sorry?
Missing socks in the dryer?
Missing socks.
Just didn't continue to keep.
They may be. They may simply cease to exist.
That's, yeah. And also, if it's a person,
Yeah.
would people notice if they?
What people notice. Okay?
Like, is it just like that someone just disappears? Like.
That's an interesting philosophical question. And the answer would be that it depends how Hashem wants to do it. If Hashem wants to erase all memory of the individual as if they never existed, then of course he could. So yeah, we may have all known people that we don't know about that we ever knew. Absolutely. I mean, look at all the people who used to be at the class. No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, it's certainly possible. Yeah. Memories are certainly manageable by Hashem. All right, so this is the idea. Now, this is not something that this should not be new to us. This is something we covered in Derech Hashem as well. And this is the idea of being Baal HaKochos, meaning that Hashem is in constant control. Because in order for anything to exist, Hashem has to be giving it its existence at every moment. Okay, so let's continue here. And as the members of the Great Assembly who composed the davening that we say, they put this into our davening, in which we say, that Hashem constantly renews the creation, the story of Bereshis, the actions of Bereshis, of creation of the world. Jody, we got the Bereshis for you. So that's that. Hainu,
Just reading ahead.
yeah. Hainu tamid mamish. This means literally, at every moment, constant. Kol eis v'rega, every time, every moment. V'rayasam mufarashes, and the proof to this concept is very clear. Ka'amar, as the pasuk says in Tehillim, la'aysei ayrim gedailim, shalai amar asa ela aysei. When it says that Hashem is making the great lights, it doesn't say that He made the great lights, but it says that Hashem makes, current, constant, making the great lights, meaning to say that it is very clear in the Torah itself, in Tehillim, that Hashem is constantly building, constantly creating, and everything that exists is under a constant state of influence from Hashem that gives it that ability to exist. Okay, so pulling this all together, this is what is intended when Hashem is using the term Elikim. As we explained earlier, this means Hashem, who is the source of all powers. Shekal kayach prati hanimtza b'chol ha'olamas, because every individual power that exists in every existence in all the different worlds, Hakoil hu yizbarach shemay balakach shalahem. All of it, Hashem is the source of that power. Shemashpia bahem hakayach, that Hashem gives an influence, He sends this power to them. Ugvura, and the strength, kol raga, every moment. Tuluyim biyadai tamid, and they are constantly hanging, so to speak, or dependent on Him at all times. L'shanaysam l'sadram, He may change them, He might arrange them, kirtani yizbarach, however He wills. So, every single existence, all powers that exist, are all products of Hashem's constant influence, constantly giving this flow of existence to them, and all of the powers are powered by Hashem Himself. Okay? Good?
Like Intel inside.
Like Intel inside.
This is
Okay.
This is Elohim, the power source, not the Havaya.
This is
Or is this the Havaya and the Elohim?
okay.
Yeah, I know it's all Echad.
Right. So we got to understand how the names of Hashem work. Each name is descriptive of another aspect of Hashem. So when we use the term Elohim, we're talking about the aspect of Hashem in which He is in control of everything. He is the source of everything that exists. It's not separate. It's just which aspect are we referring to when we use this name as opposed to that name.
What was the name you just said?
Hashem with Yud Kei Vav Kei, known as Havaya.
Okay.
And then there's lots and lots of them, but Elohim is what we're contrasting with right now.
Okay. I just never heard it.
Okay. All right. So we good with this? Comfortable here? All right. Let's move on. Okay. So let's get back to what we started with, and that is Kain b'dimyon zeh kaviyachol. So too with this connection, I guess, that we can refer back to that we started with when we talked about the fact that man was created b'tzelem Elokim, that there's a certain comparison, there's a certain aspect of Hashem that we are made in that image, and as we said then, it does not refer to anything physical, rather it's referring to a certain comparison, which we haven't decided what that is yet, and that's what we're going to get into now. That bara hu yizbarach es adam, in a certain comparison, Hashem created man. V'hishlitoi al ribei rivivan koichos v'olamos and mispar. And Hashem has put mankind in charge of an unlimited number of powers and worlds, umasar miyadai, and they were given into mankind's hand. She'ehu hamedaber hamanhig oisam, that it should be the person who will be the one to speak, the one who to guide, and the one who leads these worlds and these powers. Based on every detail of the actions of a person, v'diburav, as well as every word, umachshavaisav, as well as all of his thoughts, v'chol sidrei hanhagaisav, and all of the ways in which a person lives their lives, and l'tayv or l'hapach chas v'shalom, whether that's for good or the contrary chas v'shalom. Meaning to say, ki b'ma'asav v'dibur machshavaisav atayv, through a person's actions, words, and thoughts that are good, hu mekayem v'noisen kayach, a person is sustaining and giving power bekama koychos elames el yonim hakdoshim, to a number of powers and worlds in the upper existences. Umayisif behem kedusha v'ar, and adding to them holiness and light. Kamashikasu, as the pasuk says in Yeshaya, va'asim devarai beficha, I will place my words in your mouth, and taya shemayim v'yisaid aretz, that you should plant heavens and establish land. As our sages have said in Gemara and Brachos, al tikrei benayich ela bainayich, that says, the pasuk says, v'chol benayich lemudei Hashem, that the Talmidei Chachamim are the builders of the world, because we changed the word banayich, which means sons, and we read it as bainayich, which means builders. Meaning to say, ki hema hamesadrim olames elyonim, because it are the builders, it are the people who are doing what Hashem wants, that they are the builders of the upper worlds. Ki baine hamesader ben yanai, just like a builder who arranges his building, v'noisen behem roiv kayach, and puts a lot of strength and power into it. So, in this sense, a person is comparable, and not to Hashem in all aspects, but in this regard, Hashem gave mankind an ability to do something similar to what He Himself does. And that is the same way Hashem builds the world. All of existence is constantly being built by Hashem every moment. So too, mankind has been given the ability to build worlds through our actions. So everything that we do, say, and think has an effect and is going to build, if we're doing the right things, saying the right things, and thinking the right things, then all of that is going to be building worlds. And as he continues to say, and it could work the opposite, through the actions, words, or thoughts that are not good. He's breaking, he's destroying. This means to say, many powers and upper worlds in these holy spheres, it's innumerable. We can't qualify or quantify how much damage can be done. As the pasuk says, those who break down and destroy will come from you. Meaning to say, this means not you're within your ranks, but that means from you, from the things that you do, things will be broken, things will be destroyed, things will be torn down because of your actions, because of your words, because of your thoughts. Things are going to come crumbling down.
Is that just
That's also from Yeshaya.
Jews also?
This is just Jews. Yes, this is also from Yeshaya, correct. So the idea is that the same way Hashem creates constantly, and any cessation of creation means a cessation of existence, so too a person, when they do the right things, again, action, speech, or thought, they are building, they are making things exist. When we do wrong things, then those things get broken down, and those things get destroyed. So it works both ways. Or he darkens the light, or reduces the light, and the kedusha. And on the contrary, he's adding power to the fires of impurity through his doing things wrong. Okay, so that's the connection here. That's the comparison that mankind has to Hashem.
Rabbi?
Yes.
Note here, because I was flipping back to the English. The English seems to end here, and then it goes on to chapter 3. He doesn't seem to continue.
Okay. Okay, so thank you for that. He goes on to chapter 4?
No, he goes on to chapter 3, but we seem to have gone a little bit further ahead, even than he went in chapter 3, because the last thing he says is he has the capacity to change or direct nature in accordance with his will. So I think we've gone
Okay.
quite a bit ahead of where he stopped.
All right. Okay, thank you. All right, let's continue here. Yeah, like we said, like I mentioned last week, he doesn't talk about a lot of the things that are here because he wants to keep it simple. So a lot of the stuff in Nefesh Hachaim is going to be very Kabbalistic, and he's not going to translate those parts. So he does skip around.
He did. Even in Nefesh Hachaim, he went to Gimel, and he skipped over Reb Chaim's notes and some other things that he brings in Nefesh Hachaim.
Right. So far the part that I've read, I don't think has been too difficult.
No, it's not.
No, it's just-
So we're okay.
Started right at Eric Gimel.
Okay.
So we'll just have to, because it took me a minute to find where you were.
Yeah, so if you don't see me, that means I'm reading something that he hasn't translated, which just let me know. Okay. So he continues. Zehu vayivra elikim es adam b'tzalmai. This is what is intended when it says that Hashem created mankind in His image, b'tzalam elikim, with the image of Elokim. Ki b'tzalam elikim asab, and with the image of Elokim, Hashem made man. Shekimaishu yizbar shemai, hu elikim b'alakayches hanimtzaim b'chalalam etzkulayim. The same way Hashem is the Elokim. He is the source of all powers and all existence in all the different worlds. Umasadram umanhigam kol rega kirtzainai. And Hashem arranges them and leads them every moment the way He wants. So Hashem appointed man to be in charge of that He should be the one to open and close a myriad of powers and worlds, based on every detail of the way a man lives, with everything he does at every moment and time. Based on the source, the upper source of the actions, v'diburav, and his words, and his thoughts. As if to say that mankind is also the source of the powers. Okay, so nothing new here. He's just bringing it all together, and that is that man is created in the image of Elokim, meaning to say that mankind has a similar power that Hashem has given him to affect all of the different worlds, and everything that we do is sourced back to its upper sources, and those upper sources are going to have their effects on things that are below them. And therefore, everything that we do, say, and think is going to have an effect on other worlds, and in that sense, we are similar to Hashem, and specifically the aspect of Elokim of Hashem. Okay. All right, I think we will stop here for this chapter. Let's see. Does he continue here? Oh, he does continue. All right. All right, I guess we can continue then. V'amru Uzal, our sages say be'echa Rabasi in the Medrash on Eicha. Rabbi Zarya b'shem Rabbi Yehuda ben Simon and Rabbi Zarya in the name of Rabbi Yehuda ben Simon says, B'zman she'Yisrael eisem ritzonei shalmaka. At the time that the Jewish people are doing the will of Hashem, Maisifin kayach begevura shalmala. They are adding strength to Hashem's, or to the upper strength, so to speak. Kamadat Amrit, as we say, Belikim Nase Chayil. That with Hashem we are acting with strength. And at the time when Klal Yisrael is not doing the will of Hashem, it's as if we are weakening the upper powers. The pasuk said, Teshi. The rock of your birth has been weakened. So this is a deeper concept and easily misunderstood. But what he's doing over here is he's saying that when we see this idea of weakening, so to speak, or strengthening, so to speak, of the upper worlds, what that means is that Hashem has given us the ability to build and destroy upper realms. That's within our power, based on the things that we do, say, and think. And it's not like this is out of Hashem's control. This is part of the way Hashem designed the world, that He wanted to give us abilities to do things. Obviously, if Hashem doesn't want it to happen, it won't. But when we see verses that seem to imply that Hashem is weakened, so to speak, that doesn't mean He is weakened. What that means is that He gave us abilities to ruin things. And Hashem allows that to happen. So it kind of looks like Hashem is weakened and that He's not stopping it from happening. But obviously that's not what's going on. It's that Hashem has designed the world in a way that we are given that power, and Hashem is going to, when He decides, allow that to happen, and that is how it looks like Hashem is weakened, so to speak.
Would that be through the lens of Bechira?
That is through Bechira, yeah. Absolutely. That's our free choice. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. Now the next thing he brings from the Zayar here, I want to skip that. So we're gonna stop here. Okay.
Meaning you're going to Perek Dalet?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's stop here. We'll continue. Hashem next week. Alrighty. Have a wonderful day, everybody.